Start by thanking you as an audience for choosing to watch this speech. Even though I am not speaking to you in person, I hope that what I have to say will still be beneficial to you and even those around you who do not have the opportunity to watch this speech. As a fellow college student, I have taken several final exams in my college courses. In my experience, studying for a final exam can be almost as difficult as taking the test itself. Even though taking a final exam is undoubtedly a stressful experience, one can eliminate much worry by utilizing proper study methods. In the minutes to follow, I will expound on these 3 points and give some helpful ways in which they can be applied. These 3 tips, studying on a deadline, knowing and understanding the key information, and having a positive attitude, will assist you in your exam-taking endeavors. So my first main point is studying on a deadline. First, I would recommend that you use the instructor's deadline or create your own. This can help studying to be more efficient, and it can help condense your studying into a certain period of time, and it can also help you to avoid being lackadaisical, and it can help you to avoid procrastinating, as you have a limited amount of time and you do not have time to waste while studying if you have a set deadline. Secondly, I would recommend that you plan your studying around the deadline. According to Maria Zagara, you can start by keeping up with the coursework and being present at class beginning on day 1. And according to the Princeton Review, you could write down later in the course of taking your college course, you could write down the topics that need to be studied and write down the length of time that needs to be devoted to each topic. Now that you know how to time and organize your studying, I will explain what should be studied during this time. Which means my second point is knowing and understanding the key information. First, I would recommend that you look at past quizzes and tests if possible. The reason for this is that past questions may be on the final exam, and you do not want to get questions you got correct the first time wrong on your final exam, but you also do not want to get questions you got wrong on your past quizzes and tests wrong again on your final exam. Also, this can help you to see which concepts you do not understand very well, and you may need to study further by looking at your textbook, obviously, or maybe looking up information on the internet to help you to better understand this information. Secondly, I would recommend that you review past flashcards, notes, and highlights from earlier in the course. Obviously, reading whole chapters is very time-consuming, so this can help you cover a large amount of information in a very short period of time. And if you ever come across something that may be confusing to you among your flashcards, notes, and highlights, you can always look further in the textbook to find more information to help you better understand these concepts. Or, like I said with the last point, you can look up some information on the internet to help you better understand this if that's not good enough. And lastly, I would recommend that you start with the oldest information and move your way on toward the newest information. Unless you're taking a course where the information builds on previous information, like maybe a math course. This will help bring to remembrance information that you learned earlier in the course that you may not remember as well because you've spent so much time learning new information, and now this can help refresh your memory on old information that you just simply do not remember as well. One thing you must remember is that with all this advice, knowing and understanding the key information and studying on a deadline will be quite useless if you do not utilize my final point. So my third and final point is having a positive attitude. Remember to surround yourself with positive reminders that you will do well. So that means remembering that if you're doing your best work, you most likely will do well, and also remembering that if you've done well in previous assignments, that's a good sign you're probably going to do well in the future on your final exam. Some tools to help you to better feel positive during this time, maybe listen to some favorite pump-up songs or read some encouraging Bible verses. You also could write down some encouraging reminders and keep them nearby. Maybe write on a sticky note and put it on your desk for during times of discouragement. Secondly, I would recommend you make time for the things you enjoy in the form of breaks. Obviously, you do not need to completely abandon enjoyable activities during this time, and according to Elizabeth Hoyt, taking breaks about every 90 minutes can help increase awareness and concentration, and according to Natasha Sin, enjoyable activities can increase your motivation. Let's put the two together, seems like a good idea. Obviously, you can read a good book, maybe work on some past projects, chat with friends, Or according to Sereni Pillay, you could take a 10-minute nap, which he says can increase or refresh your awareness. So that would obviously be a good study break. Now, maintaining a positive attitude while studying can help make this laborious task of reviewing the past information and concepts on a deadline a more enjoyable and fruitful experience. So as I've said multiple times, all this information can be summarized in the 3 main points that I mentioned in my introduction and have continued mentioning throughout my time here. Studying on a deadline, knowing and understanding the key information, and having a positive attitude. I hope that you as a listener has from this speech learned some information that will better assist you in your time of review before a final exam. If done right, studying can help you feel better prepared to take your final exams and ultimately succeed in them. Now, go out and ace those exams.